Hey everybody, it's Root Access, and as you know, we never change our clothes. We're at Root Access.
We need a budget first.
Jamie DeGrazio, Ryan Ritchie with you, and we always like to answer your questions. Sometimes they're technical, sometimes they're personal, and sometimes they're retailical.
Yep.
I don't know, is that? Okay.
That's not a word.
It was weak. So, this week we've got a question asking about advantages to buying at the Apple Store instead of a reseller. Kind of covered this a little bit before, but well, at a reseller, you wouldn't wait as long, I guess. Well, wait, that's not the question. The question is advantages to buying at the Apple Store.
Well, I think, I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of Apple resellers. There's not too many around anymore. But I think one of the big advantages is all the products Apple sells are going to be on display. And you can have hands-on. And for the most part, everything's going to be set up to work properly. It's not like when you go to Best Buy and they have you locked down on some screensaver. You can actually use the computer the way you would normally use it. And for the most part, everyone that's going to be there is going to be very knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to speak to. With the resellers, it's really a mixed bag. Sometimes you get somebody who is passionate about this and follows all the Apple stuff, and really, they might be more knowledgeable, at least in certain areas, than the Mac geniuses at the Apple Store. On the other side of that coin, though, I have been in resellers where I've heard people be told things that were just straight out wrong, just completely wrong. The worst thing in some cases, you could tell someone to try, a minor issue, and the answer is, well, you need to wipe your drive and reinstall the OS. So there's definitely a consistency to the information you get at the Apple Store. Now, bear in mind, though, that information is also going to be through the tightly controlled Apple corporate spiel, basically.
Yeah.
You go to a reseller, they might be like, oh, well, Apple knows about that problem, but they just don't want to fix it.
Yeah, or
which may or may not be true.
They might tell you, well, don't buy this MacBook because it's going to probably get updated next month.
Right, you're not going to get that at the store, but what you will get is consistent knowledge, both before and after you buy. Okay, what else do we have?
Well, you're going to get, there's certain things that they might not do for you at the reseller, like if you have an old Mac or an old PC and you want to get your files moved over, they can certainly do it at the Apple Store, and unless things have changed for the most part, I think that's all free still. And I'm not sure if, they may do it, at the reseller, but they might charge you.
Well, I know if you talk, instead of mom and pop shops, if you talk about like Best Buy, they're not going to do that. They might with the Geek Squad.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, for $75 or $100.
But you're buying a Mac, you don't have to deal with the Geek Squad anymore. That's how you got here, right?
Yeah, and for the most part, Apple retail is going to just have a greater attention to detail in terms of, giving you a full solution. If you're buying a laptop, they're going to suggest, well, do you want to add some more RAM, or do you need a case for that, or what are you doing with your computer? And they're going to have, things you can purchase with it as well. At the reseller, they might just hand you the Mac and be like, see you later,
And again, after the sale, as far as repairs and so forth, there's also an advantage that at the Apple Store, the folks working at the Apple Store have seen everything multiple times. Just the volume of seeing a certain repair, you don't want some of these repairs, and we'll talk about that in another segment, but some of these repairs, you don't want it to be the first time somebody ever did it on your computer. So some definite advantages before you buy and even after you buy. And there are some programs too. There's the one-to-one, for example, which you can buy your computer somewhere else and still get that at Apple. But
where they come in, and what happens with
one-to-one, you go into the store. This used to be basically, it's ProCare split in two.
Okay.
And the one-to-one segment allows you to come in for 1 hour trainings with just one other person, the genius or creative. It's $99 a year, and you can come in and do that. Also, if you check the blog, I did a blog on the best way to use your tax rebate to buy Apple products, and there's one segment in there for the very conservative or very worried person, and I said buy Apple Care and one-to-one and ProCare. You know
what I'm doing with mine?
What?
I'm going to buy
as another Zune. You're going to buy another Zune.
I'm going to buy 6 years of .Mac.
That's
you can never have enough .Mac.
That's $600 of email.
I know. That's a bargain. I think I get a lot of emails.
$600 worth apparently. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, here's another question we can get to real quickly. I believe. Where did it go? What am I missing?
I don't know. What
The
are you
intern
looking at?
took the other
I don't know. I think we had a kernel panic here. We can't
Oh,
know what's
jeez.
going on.
Command Option Escape. We'll be back next time, everybody. Bye-bye.